The Russian military struck a fuel depot in Ukraine's historic city of Lviv Saturday. A member of Lviv's city council witnessed hearing 3 large explosions during the attack. It happened just a few hundred miles away from where President Biden held his speech in Poland. CBS News foreign correspondent Imtiaz Tayyab is in Lviv with more.
Now, almost immediately after the attack, we could see dark plumes of smoke rising into the sky, and later learned at least 5 people were injured. Now, Russia's defense ministry has confirmed it used long-range and cruise missiles in the assault, saying its target was a plant being used to repair anti-aircraft systems, radar stations, and tanks. Now, the missile strike comes less than a day after Russian generals said the Kremlin would be, quote, shifting focus from its ground offensive aimed at Kyiv to instead prioritizing what Moscow calls the liberation of the contested eastern Donbass region. And while it doesn't yet look as if Vladimir Putin is changing his approach to the war on Ukraine, what's clear are the Kremlin's military miscalculations as Ukrainian forces continue to fight back with an intensity few expected. Now, here in Lviv, which has seen 2 other strikes nearby in as many weeks, it's been something of a sanctuary for the millions of Ukrainians fleeing violence.
Bryan Clark joins us now. He is a senior fellow and director of the Center for Defense Concepts and Technology at Hudson Institute. He was also a submarine officer and served in the U.S. Navy headquarters staff. Bryan, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Now tell us, why hasn't the Russian military managed to occupy the capital city of Kyiv?
Well, the challenge they're facing is Kyiv is a relatively large city. And it's been well defended by the Ukrainian forces that are protecting the entrances to the city. So a couple of the issues that have arisen have been that Russia has been unable to get off the road network. So normally, if you're going to use armored forces to try to take a city, you're going to want to come at it from multiple directions, and those directions need to be unknown to your defending forces that you're up against. In this case, road conditions or the ground conditions are too muddy for the Russian forces to get off the road. And the Russian forces are also then channelized as a result into these road networks that then the Ukrainians can use for ambushes. The Ukrainians, for their part, have been equipped with these high-end Stinger missiles, which are rather Javelin missiles, which are capable anti-tank weapons that have been provided by the United States. They can be fired from relatively long distance, and Javelins also allow you to fire and forget. So launch an attack and then move on even before the attack has reached the tank that you're going up against. And the Ukrainians also have the benefit of some better surveillance capabilities. So they've been using UAVs to track the progress of these Russian troops as they approach the city. And then the last thing is the Ukrainians recently received these Switchblade drones, which are suicide drones, if you will. They will fly up, and you can use them to identify an armored tank formation coming at you, and then you can fly the drone directly into the tank and damage it or destroy it. So the Ukrainians have some good capabilities on their side. The Russians have been forced to operate in a way that makes them more vulnerable to these attacks.
Bryan, do you worry that Russia's losses will lead the Kremlin to double down on its invasion?
What I think it's going to do is cause Russia to rethink its goals for the invasion. So they've already used more than 1,000 precision missiles thus far in an attempt to take out strategic targets within Ukraine, things like command and control centers and population centers, places where people are trying to evacuate to and be kept safe. They've been also using them, as they did yesterday, to attack fuel depots that are important to keeping up the Ukrainian fight. But Russia's now running out of those weapons, and they're now having to resort to attacks like they've been undertaking against Mariupol, where they just damage residential areas and attempt to terrorize the population. So that seems to not really be working. So what Russia seems to be doing is transitioning to a new phase in the war where they're going to try to consolidate the gains they've made in the east, in the Donbass region, and then focus their efforts in the rest of the country on damaging Ukrainians' military capability and leaving in the country in a position where it's not going to be able to mount much resistance to future Russia attacks or invasions.
And Bryan, NATO estimates that between 7,000 and 15,000 Russian soldiers have died. Ukrainian officials say their forces have killed 7 Russian generals on the battlefield. What does that say about Ukraine's military defense and their needs?
So what it says is Ukraine's been very effective in terms of both the tactics they developed to deal with the Russian invasion. So like I said, they've been mounting a very effective effort against the armored columns that have been coming at them on the roads. They've also been using Stinger anti-air missiles very effectively to ground most of the Russian air forces. So most of the Russian air attacks that have been occurring have been happening from outside Ukrainian airspace using longer range cruise missiles that then attack things like shopping malls or fuel depots, as we saw. Also, what it says is the Ukrainians have been well equipped for this strategy of essentially an irregular force fighting a more traditional military. So the U.S. encountered a lot of this when it came to the fighting in Iraq during the war there, where we dealt with an irregular enemy that could disperse into the population, then come out and concentrate to fight our forces in the open ground. So Ukraine's been very effective with their tactics, and they've been equipped in a way that allows them to use those tactics to be pretty lethal to the Russian forces.
So, Bryan, how is Russia responding to its military casualties, and how are they portraying it to their people, if at all?
So they've been downplaying the numbers. Whereas we estimate 7,000 to 15,000 are probably the number of Russian casualties, to the domestic audience, Russia's been saying the casualties more like 1,500. So they've been, by a factor of 10, underplaying the number of casualties they've sustained. They've also been apparently burying or cremating soldiers that are lost in the field, so you don't have these images of body bags coming back home to Russia. So this is all part of the information campaign to downplay the impact of the offensive on the population back home in Russia. Also notably, Russia depends on conscripts for about a quarter to a third of these ground forces. Technically, they're not supposed to be fighting outside of Russia, and also their conscript period will be ending here in a couple of months. So there's going to be a whole wave of conscripts coming home with stories from the front. So these are all problems that are going to be things that come home to roost for Moscow over the next 6 months or so.
And Bryan, how serious is the threat of biological, chemical, or nuclear warfare?
I'd say that the chances of biological weapons being used are pretty low because their effects are so difficult to predict, and they take some time to take hold. But chemical weapons have been used by Russia or its proxies in Syria. That was not responded to very forcefully by the Western community. So Russia may feel emboldened to use chemical weapons if they're put into a position of needing to turn to that to be able to save their effort. And then nuclear weapons seem very unlikely just because it seems like they've decided to downscope their war aims in such a way that they're not going to put themselves at risk of having an existential crisis emerge out of their activities in Ukraine. So Putin has said that that's the only case in which they would use nuclear weapons. But I do see chemical weapons as being potentially on the table, and it remains to be seen whether Russian forces feel like they're backed into a corner where they have to use those in order to stop, for example, a counteroffensive by Ukrainian forces. It seems like in the near term, though, Russia is going to consolidate their gains in the east and just focus on trying to damage the Ukrainian military and infrastructure in such a way that Ukraine can't rise up and mount much of a threat to the Russian forces as they withdraw.
Bryan Clark, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.